Cool. All right, so here we are making some content here. I'm with Nasai. Nasai and I are going to watch Doomcracy Now together. We're going to watch it together. And
do it as a team.
As a team. Absolutely. So when Blamey when Amy does a CIA propaganda, we can call her out in real time. I do this every day. It's fun. Well, actually, I usually watch it before the stream, but I've been doing a live react these days. I think people should see when she's participating in the consent manufacturing, and when she's actually doing some good stuff. She mostly her show's best. I argue her show's best when she's not talking. So oof. I know it's tricky.
Harsh.
Same. Hey, it's the same on my show. So I'm literally not mad. Okay. Let's check it out. Here we go. Feel free to let me know when you want me to pause. A little hand in the air, just shout it out. Here we go.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. A pair of cruise missiles slammed into a residential high-rise in Kyiv Thursday, injuring 10 people in Russia's first strikes on Ukraine's capital city in nearly 2 weeks. The attack came just hours after United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres toured parts of Kyiv devastated by Russia's invasion, just minutes after he'd wrapped up a joint news conference with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Zelensky said the timing of the missile attack...
She just went right for it. She's like, all right, let's manufacture that consent, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess she's just trying to put out the information without, I don't know. Is there anything she should have mentioned that she just...
where the information's coming from, who told her, how do we know that any of these things are true? Yeah. She just does it uncritically.
And there's this fucking guy.
Who's Zelensky?
Yeah.
Daddy Zelensky?
Bonk.
Would you let Zelensky sleep with your wife? I don't even know why I'm asking this shit. All right, let's keep watching here.
Showed
they're saying that Russia tried to capture him and his wife and his kids in the news. Did you hear this?
I did not. I have actually not been paying too much attention to the whole Ukraine situation lately.
It's probably for the best, dude. It's driving me bonkers.
I mean, there's no way to know what's actually true. Right?
That's the thing, right? But Amy and the Doomcracy Now crew, they only present one side, and that's the thing. That's wait, what? Someone punched Zelensky in chat. Wow. What do you get paid by Putin? All right.
To humiliate the United Nations and everything it represents. Guterres reiterated the UN's call for a ceasefire and said his priority is to ensure Moscow and Kyiv set up evacuation and aid corridors in Ukraine that are truly safe.
UN, dude.
Today, Ukraine is an epicenter of unbearable heartache and pain. I witnessed that very vividly today around Kyiv.
I can make fun of this guy because he's NATO. He said heartache. What an idiot.
The senseless loss of life, the massive destruction, the unacceptable violations of human rights and the laws of war. It is vital that the International Criminal Court and other UN mechanisms conduct their work so that there can be real accountability.
The German and Austrian energy companies Uniper and...
Accountability, dude. That's rich coming from the UN guy, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely rich. It's just it feels like we're being gaslit.
And it feels like they're trying to just use UN as an arm of NATO rather than what it's actually for. Mm-hmm. Just supposed to be neutral.
Exactly. Fucking UN. Here we go.
And OMV say they've agreed to Russia's demands that purchasers of Russian oil and gas open accounts in a Russian bank and pay in rubles. The Italian energy giant Eni is also reportedly in talks to make ruble payments for Russian gas. Earlier this week, the European Union accused Russia of blackmail after it shut off gas supplies to Poland and Bulgaria, which had refused to pay in rubles. The Russian state-controlled firm Gazprom continues to supply Europe with about 40% of the natural gas it consumes.
Wow.
NATO said Thursday it's ready to support Ukraine's military in its fight against Russia for years if...
Oh, my God. I
I mean,
cannot believe that.
how many people is the leadership of Ukraine willing to sacrifice in order to protect the sovereignty of their borders? You know, I think that the blood's not just on Putin's hands. The blood's on Putin's hands, but it's also on the Ukrainian government's hands. They don't have to continue the war. Recognize the independence of those two provinces. Recognize the Russian control of Crimea. War could have been over a month ago.
I mean, arguably, that's what's going to have to happen, right? Like, they're going to have to
Eventually.
negotiate the way out of it, and that
Right.
seems to be the where they're going to have to, what they're going to have to do.
How many people are
So-
going to die in the process? You know?
Why don't we do that sooner than later? Yeah.
Right.
And of course, there are so many interests in the United States and abroad that would love to see this war continue. They're just literally enriching themselves off of it. I mean, we want to talk about a war crime, like the other side of war, at least in this economy, is that, you know, people are literally enriching themselves, like they're gaining wealth, like, and then of course they use this wealth to, you know, do all of the other exploitation. You know, it's just like it's all tied together. I'm just literally amazed to hear that out loud. They go, we'll do this for years. We'll do it for years. We'll keep arming these Nazis for years. Not all of them are Nazis. Sorry. All right, let's keep watching.
Necessary. The Military Alliance's Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg spoke from the 2022 NATO Youth Summit in Brussels Thursday.
There is absolutely the possibility that
NATO Youth Summit?
Why?
Why? No one
Why?
asked for this. I'm
Should not be a
I'm
thing.
actually stunned. All right. Okay, that's something.
this war will drag on
Child
and last
soldiers.
for months
Say that again.
Child soldiers. That's what that means to me. That's probably not what it actually is, but
Yeah.
youth NATO. Okay.
That's some
Weird.
weird imperialism club indoctrination. I'm sorry, indoctrination, right? All right, back 5 seconds here.
there is absolutely the possibility that this war will drag on and last for months and years.
Because of
NATO
you,
allies
people like
are
you.
preparing to provide support over a long period of time.
In Washington, D.C.,
Oh, my
President
God.
Biden's asked Congress for an additional $33 billion in economic and military assistance to Ukraine. His request came as Congress voted overwhelmingly to revive the Lend-Lease Act that the U.S. used to arm its allies during World War II. Biden's latest request includes $20 billion to purchase new weapons and ammunition, including anti-tank and anti-air systems, helicopters, drones, grenade launchers, and millions of rounds of ammunition. Speaking from the White House, Biden rejected charges that the U.S. is using Ukraine to wage a proxy war against Russia.
Oh my God!
We're
Okay,
not
this
doing
is
the
like
thing
literally
we're
stunning.
definitely doing.
Say what?
So we're not doing the thing we're definitely doing. It's like you're giving them offensive weapons. That wasn't what she just listed off there. Was not strictly defensive.
Yeah.
How is that not a proxy war?
I'm not sure if they know this, but these anti-tank, like rocket launchers, you can shoot them at other things too.
That's true.
They don't just hit tanks.
Yeah, they haven't played enough Fortnite.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So, and we've talked about this. We've covered it extensively on the show. We know that there are some Nazis. Specifically, we know of Azov Battalion. We know that there are some that are officially folded into the Ukrainian National Guard. And there are no mechanisms to prevent those arms from ending up in the Nazis' hands. We've seen pictures, I believe, of NATO. We're to believe NATO instructors teaching room full of Azov Battalion how to use rockets such as the ones that you're seeing here. They're effectively like one-time, one-and-done, very advanced rockets, and they have very advanced chips in there. And I argue that's one of the reasons we can't have nice things. That's why we can't have nice chips. It's because they're doing and putting them in these single-use rocket launchers. Now, I'm not exactly sure if that's one of the single-use launchers, to be fair, but it just really is all stupid and fucked up, and I really think we haven't seen the end of it. I mean, yeah, like we're arming Nazis. What do we think is going to happen? There are going to be unintended consequences, or perhaps they are intended, and that makes you really wonder what the fuck's going on here.
Yep.
33 billion? 33 billion, none for student loan forgiveness. Yeah, look at that. It's so easy for them to find $33 billion. But,
But how are they going to pay for it?
No one's asking that question. No one's asking. Billion. They just sent like 800 million, and we were like, what the fuck, right? Now they're like multiplying that by exponential numbers. This is insane. Yeah, B for bagel slicer. All right, let's keep watching this bullshit. Let's see what Amy has to say about this. This is the thing, though. To be fair, this is the headline. She does the headlines fast. She doesn't do a lot of, she doesn't throw her opinion in there. But that's the problem. Like, you cannot just let them say this shit uncritically. You can't just let them get away with it. You're platforming the like literal State Department mouthpieces. I can't stand it. Yeah. All right, let's keep watching.
We're not attacking Russia.
They just let Biden just say the thing uncritically. Here we go.
Ukraine defend itself against Russian aggression. And just as Putin chose to launch this brutal invasion, he could make the choice to end this brutal invasion. Russia is the aggressor. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Code.
Look at that. Just literally shut it off. Intellectual understanding of the entire situation. No ifs, ands, buts, or, just don't even think about it, Well, hold on. What about NATO? Yeah. They could end homelessness and have $13 billion to spare. Is that how much it would cost? Look at that.
Yeah, and then homelessness would be pretty cheap.
Gosh darn it. $13 billion?
I don't know if it's that cheap. I mean, I guess it depends who you ask, but less than 50.
That's like 25% of Twitter. How much Twitter costs?
Change for the government.
Yeah, pocket change.
Regardless.
44 billion Elon spent to buy Twitter, and I got it for free. What a chump. Am I right?
Yeah.
Got him. Yeah, he's going to be so mad when he sees this. Hate that guy. All right.
Pink's Medea Benjamin noted Biden's call for $33 billion for Ukraine is over half the entire budget of the State Department and USAID, the U.S. Agency for International Development. Benjamin called Biden's request a down payment on World War III and added, quote, we need diplomacy, not billions more in weapons.
Oh, shit, dude.
The United Nations warns human activity has damaged and degraded up to 40% of the world's land, reducing the fertility of soil and stripping it of native trees, vegetation, and biodiversity. The report by the UN's Convention to Combat Desertification finds most of the damage is caused by food production, risking the ability of nations to continue feeding Earth's growing population. A new study in the journal Science finds the climate crisis poses the largest risk to marine animals.
Say that again?
She doesn't mention what kind of food production there. Most of it is coming from companies moving in and doing monocrop agriculture, not the local people growing their own food. People have been growing their own food in these places for, millennia. It's not until, these companies go in and exploit the land for profit that you actually start seeing soil depletion.
There you have it. Also, according to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, it would cost $20 billion to end homelessness. Depends how you ask.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, right. It's large agribusiness, not just people trying to eat.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with the difference in the farming practices there, but what the agribusinesses will do is they'll go in and they'll grow whatever's most profitable, not what is most appropriate to grow in the area.
Not what people need to eat, or what's appropriate for the area. Excuse me.
B, they often won't utilize crop rotation, the
Yeah.
practice of changing what crop you grow in a plot of land from year to year, so that you're putting back in what you took out with the previous crop. They don't really do crop rotation anymore. They do monocrop, so they just grow the same thing in the same field year after year, and they artificially fertilize it. But sometimes they don't fertilize it, and fertilizer doesn't add every type of nutrient back to the soil. It doesn't add carbon back to the soil. Just adds nitrogen, phosphate, and potassium. What about everything else that the plants need?
So over time, it destroys the land. It makes it harder to grow.
Mm-hmm.
And that leads to desertification.
Correct. And
That's
I mean,
not
it's also, and it's not just like the process of fertilizing. It's like when you're not growing something that's appropriate for the land, you're not going to get the right root systems in place. So you're going to have erosion taking place.
Okay.
And so that's also responsible for it. It's in large part due to erosion.
All right. That helps me understand.
Of nations to continue feeding Earth's growing population. A new study in the journal Science finds the climate crisis poses...
So the reason I'm pointing this out and to what Amy should have done here is mention some of what I just mentioned and not just say, oh, most of it's because of food production. Guess we're not going to be able to feed people anymore. I mean, somebody could easily take that and suggest an eco-fascist route to solve this problem.
Oh, okay. So that's what no theory does to a motherfucker.
Yep.
All right. And that's why we have you on. That's the thing.
You're welcome.
That's the thing. Like, a lot of that gets by me. I'll just be straight up, That's why it's tricky. And that's why it's also nice to have people like you on. But, you can have, like, media savvy, but, like, it'll fail you every time if you just don't have a knowledge of history. And that's where I am. I'm just trying to inundate me with more knowledge. I need more context, you know what I mean? I'm tired of, I don't want to be a shit lib anymore, you know what I mean? I don't want to go by vibes. I want to go by a material understanding of history and how shit's working and how it's actually playing out. But that's hard, That's hard, especially if you're a dumb guy like me.
Well, I mean, it's just a lot of stuff to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody's gonna like try to get this information to you in a capitalist economy. You usually got to find it yourself.
Yeah, it's not profitable to teach a guy like me to not be dumb about economics,
Right.
It's really hard. It takes a lot of effort. You're doing it right now. You're doing the labor. All right, Amy.
Largest risk to marine animals.
Let me go back.
Science continue feeding Earth's growing population. A new study in the journal Science finds the climate crisis poses the largest risk to marine animals since an asteroid impact wiped out the dinosaurs 66 million years ago.
Yeah.
The study found about a third of all the animals in the ocean could vanish within 3 centuries unless humanity takes dramatic steps to reduce greenhouse gas emissions.
She just called humanity a slow-moving asteroid.
She's not wrong. She's right on this point. Good job, Amy.
Yeah, don't look.
She did it.
She's not doing the don't look up, but she's like, we're just a slow moving asteroid. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, you only need to acidify the oceans a little bit for the effects to be entirely catastrophic. As the ocean, what this is probably based on, my guess anyway, I haven't read the report, is that the ocean acidification is the problem here, and that's because the rising concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere mixes with water. It literally forms. It's the same process as actually carbonation in sodas. Carbon dioxide will dissolve in the water and form carbonic acid. So that increases the acidity. The acidity of the ocean will rise in direct proportion to the increase in CO2 concentration in the atmosphere.
Oh my God. But good news for people who like soda water.
True. Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's not funny. Don't laugh. Don't encourage this. Don't encourage it. You laughed. All right.
Get your fizzy water straight out of the ocean.
I actually love soda water. I actually make my own soda water every day. No, I don't have a soda stream. That's apartheid water. It's made in Israel. I literally just made my own tank or my own little soda streaming system. Anyways, do you like dolphins? They're my favorite.
They're one of my favorites. Yes,
Get out of here.
I unironically believe dolphins are actually smarter than humans.
They're rapey though, so you got to be careful with that. You're canceled.
True.
Yeah.
Damn it!
I caught you.
Walked into that.
I trapped
right
you.
into it. Unbelievable.
Got him.
No, I think dolphins are smarter than humans.
Yeah. Except for the rapey part, but humans do that too.
They should be legally regarded as people. That's my take on it. And have the rights that entails. So it should be considered murder to kill a dolphin.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think I'm with you on that one, right? You read Douglas Adams?
I do. Yeah,
yes,
my favorite book is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I love it too. I think there's an audiobook, and I think he actually reads it. It's great.
I mean, he may not have. I mean, he says that the second smartest species is dolphins, and the third is humans. He says that as a joke.
Yeah.
But I think he may have actually been serious. Like, he decided to present it as a joke. Like, a lot of his humor, I think this stuff he actually genuinely believes, but he just decides to present as a joke because that's sense of humor.
Super funny sense of humor. I love it. All right, dolphins. Let's see what she's got to say about the acidified. They're sparkling dolphins now. Yeah, they're sparkling. Yes.
To halt the climate crisis, the study found up to 70% of extinctions could be prevented.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a report in the journal Nature finds the climate crisis and urban sprawl are driving wild mammals to relocate to new habitats where they risk spreading novel viruses into the human population. Researchers say the change is already underway, with thousands of new opportunities for viruses to spill over into new species, including humans. We'll have more on this story later in the broadcast with Ed Yong, the Pulitzer Prize-winning science writer for The Atlantic.
We're all dying, Mike Boy. We're all dying.
London,
but especially Amy. We got to get the dolphins before the dolphins get us. It's absurd. That's ridiculous.
Dolphin on dolphin crime.
It's absurd. Don't do that.
Kits for a People's Vaccine rallied outside Pfizer's UK headquarters Thursday, demanding the drug maker end pandemic profiteering and share its vaccine technology with the Global South. Yeah. Activists carried signs reading, "Pharma greed kills," and Pfizer has blood on its hands as they delivered wheelbarrows full of fake cash to the entrance of the building. Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine is one of the most lucrative pharmaceutical products in history, earning the company some $37 billion last year alone.
Disgusting.
What? I didn't realize they were going to make this much money. I'm like literally disgusted.
It's a lot of money.
They made $38 billion off of the pandemic. Like they made it off. They made it off the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. And what is the largest lobby by economic activity in the country? Pharma.
My God. You're saying pharma has the biggest lobby in DC?
It probably still does. I know it did at one point. I would imagine it still does. It's either that or actually, it might have been health insurance is the top, and then pharma. Pharma's definitely in the top 5, though.
Related, yeah. Wow.
The top 5 is health insurance, defense contractors, prisons, pharma. All the usual suspects.
Like literally the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That took me a minute to wrap my head around. All right. Well, I think we should go get our money. That's our money.
Yeah.
Like Pfizer owes us money. The way that this money belongs to the people, and I know that's not real money. That would be silly if they brought real money to the protest. That would not be reasonable. But we should go get our money. How do we get our money? I don't know how to. It's ridiculous. Yeah, our vaccines. And on top of that, they won't share the information with like the global South. They like need this. Like Cuba can't save the entire fucking world, right? Dear God. Yeah. All right, let's keep watching.
Or over $1,000 a second. In a statement, the group Global Justice Now responded, quote, "This is scandalous when more than 8 in 10 people in low-income countries still haven't had a COVID-19 vaccine."
No
unquote.
way.
The World Health Organization warns cases of measles rose nearly 80% in the first 2 months of this year after millions of children missed out on routine vaccinations due to the coronavirus pandemic. Measles cases are skyrocketing in Afghanistan, where the Taliban government says at least 16,000 children have been infected so far this year, leading to at least 130 deaths there.
All right, Amy, you're going to mention how we stole their central bank, right?
Human rights groups are sounding the alarm over a surge of executions in Iran.
Nope, she skipped that part. Nope. She's just she chooses when to editorialize, or they choose when to have her like do a little bit of let's balance it out with this little story, right? They choose when she does it, and she doesn't do it all the time, and I don't get that. I don't get it.
Me neither, man.
Amy, the Doomcracy crew, man, like they're making me go doomer.
In 2021, at least 333 people were put to death, a rise of 25% from the previous year, according to the Norway-based Iran Human Rights and France's Together Against the Death Penalty. About a third of those executions were for drug-related offenses. Groups say many of these cases lack sufficient evidence or relied heavily on confessions obtained through torture.
They're doing an Iran bad. They're doing an Iran bad here. Isn't that fascinating to you? They're like, hey, we could talk about anything in the world, but we're going to talk about how we think Iran is bad. You should know about this.
Didn't used to be this bad, right?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Regularly before.
Yeah, I just don't know. It seems like none of them have read a book. Like I read one book, and if someone on that fucking crew just read Jakarta Method, they'd be doing a lot better than they're doing right now.
Yep.
So I don't know if they were honestly better. I do know that I used to look up to this. I'm like, oh, this is the left perspective on the world. I'm learning, but I wasn't, I guess. Look at this cat. Show cat. What a sweetie pie.
I'm just holding him up right now.
Yeah.
Doesn't care at all.
So sweet. I love that so much. So Doomcracy Now, man, it'll turn you into a doomer. Or if you're a lib, it'll trick you into thinking you have an understanding of the world. Yeah.
Sure. The Oklahoma legislature has approved another Republican-led bill banning abortions after just 6 weeks of pregnancy. The measure now goes to the Republican governor, Kevin Stitt, who's expected to sign it. The bill's modeled on Texas's anti-abortion law that took effect in September. It allows any state resident to sue doctors who perform abortions or anyone who, quote, aids or abets an abortion, with rewards of at least $10,000 for those who are successful. This comes.
All right, are you for or opposed to this, Nasai? Quick.
I'm pro-abortion. Not even pro-choice. I'm pro-abortion.
Yeah. Is it too late to abort me?
I'll abort you.
Thank you.
In a video game. Super Smash Brothers.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that. It's on. It is on now. Now you're talking shit?
That's right.
The fuck? It's the last time you're on my show. I'm gonna have to show you in Smash Bros how this is gonna end. Okay. Look at this weirdo.
Comes less than 2 weeks after Governor Stitt signed into law a total ban on abortion in Oklahoma that makes the procedure a felony punishable with up to 10 years in prison and a $100,000 fine.
Wow, what's up?
What's with the roses?
I don't know, dude. I honestly don't know. That's tripping me out. What is that about? Is that like a forced birth thing? I don't want to call it pro-life.
Gas.
Is it? I don't even know what that is. I'm
First
not
I've
just
seen it.
I'm not just pro-abortion. I'm anti-baby. Not bad. Not bad.
Oklahoma
I
State
mean, that is an
Senator
actual
Carrie
thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Antinatalism.
antinatalist. Yeah. Well, that's like more like you don't want to have baby. Well, does it also mean you believe other people shouldn't have babies?
Yes, that is
Oh.
what it means.
Well, I'm like antinatalist for myself, but maybe I do believe that. Are you?
I think it's a fun philosophical concept at the very least. It's based upon the truth that you can't obtain someone's consent in order to bring them into existence.
Dude, right? Exactly.
So, from an ethical standpoint, it's pretty solid in my opinion.
So you think life is a crime?
I mean, I'm willing to entertain the idea. I don't know that I solidly side with it, but
Yeah. No, I hear where you're coming from. I don't think you're saying that exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Consent. It's weird. You're bringing someone into life. They have no choice. And
Right.
in this economy, right?
In this economy?
In this economy? No, seriously. Like, I know that's a joke, but seriously, in this economy, what the fuck are you doing? Bringing people into this world? Oh my God.
True.
Right? All right.
Hicks was among minority Democrats who objected to the legislation.
Forbes ranks Oklahoma number 51 out of 50 states for quality of life for women.
Did you say 51 out of 50?
Guess so.
Does that make sense?
Maybe Puerto Rico's ranks higher.
I don't. Yeah, that's weird.
Don't have any further to fall,
Or maybe
and yet
Forbes
we are
forgot how to
trying to
math.
prove how much worse we can make things for women through these types of legislation.
Georgia Republican Governor Brian Kemp has signed a raft of bills overhauling public education in the state, including one banning books deemed to be offensive from school libraries. Another.
Wow. Well, I guess that's the cost of freedom, right? Banning books.
Freedom.
bill bars classroom discussion of so-called divisive concepts pertaining to race. The Protect Students First Act also empowers an athletic oversight committee to exclude transgender children from playing high school sports.
Oh, man, there
In
we
a
go.
statement, Human Rights Campaign wrote, quote, self-serving politicians catering to an extreme portion of their party's base are showing they're willing to harm vulnerable kids who just want to play with their friends, unquote. Meanwhile, Governor Kemp has signed a bill instituting a flat rate for state income taxes that will disproportionately benefit wealthy Georgians. A new analysis of Fortune 100 investor filings.
There's that assault on our trans comrades. I can't go without saying that our trans comrades, your lives have value. You're loved. You're wonderful. You're beautiful. And I'm sorry that this is what's happening in this godforsaken country. You know, I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
Shithole country.
Shithole country, dude.
Shows 19 of the most profitable corporations in the United States are paying little or no federal income tax.
Fucking
the
God.
Center for American Progress
negative.
found AT&T and Dow
Negative tax. They're getting paid with your taxes. What the fuck? Oh, God. I'm such a fucking doomer, dude.
Disgusting.
This is disgusting.
paid zero federal income taxes last year. In fact, despite nearly $30 billion in earnings, AT&T reported a tax refund of $1.2 billion. Meanwhile, Amazon, ExxonMobil, Verizon, JP Morgan Chase, Bank of America, and others paid extremely low tax rates. In related news, shares of Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, rose by over 17% Thursday,
What is this?
making founder Mark Zuckerberg nearly $11 billion wealthier in just one day. President.
Well, to be fair, Facebook's stock did take a complete shit like 2 weeks prior to that, and it kind of recovered to what it was before. But still, the fact that the numbers can move by that much in terms of his personal wealth is absolutely disgusting.
The amount of wealth that's fluctuating versus how much of that, I could use to just live off my very modest lifestyle for the rest of my life, right? It boggles the mind.
A fraction of a percent of it.
It's like one of those things where it's
all anyone would need.
It's such a big number. Your brain just literally can't wrap itself around how big it is. So much fucking money.
A fraction of a percent of the amount that it moved by.
Yeah,
is all somebody needs.
Oh God. Okay. And I just wonder what could go wrong with allowing all these people, or a very small amount of people rather, to hold all this wealth. What could go wrong, right?
Can't think of anything. I think it's fine.
Should be fine. Should be fine.
President Biden Thursday
What could go wrong?
confirmed he's looking into taking executive action to cancel an unspecified amount of federal student debt in the coming weeks.
Considering dealing with some debt reduction. I am not considering $50,000 debt reduction, but I'm in the process of taking a hard look at whether or not there will be additional debt forgiveness.
In response, the debt collective demanded the White House cancel more student loan debt, writing in a statement, quote, for millions of borrowers, many of whom owe six figures, $10,000 or $50,000 of relief barely provides a dent in the amount of debt they hold. If Biden were to cancel $10,000 for all 45 million borrowers, we'd still have a massive student debt crisis on our hands.
You can get rid of it.
Some Democrats and progressive lawmakers have also been pressuring Biden to cancel at least $50,000 in student debt, if not more.
Let's do it all.
This is Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer speaking Thursday.
I again call on the president to take action, which he can do on his own, and hit the financial reset button for millions and millions of Americans. President Biden...
They just refuse to help working class people, and they're clamoring all over themselves to help the wealthy, elite ownership class.
Mm-hmm. And even Schumer is playing games here because the only reason there exists a controversy over how much to cancel is because they're going to use the question about the appropriate number in order to drag this out closer to the election.
Oh.
So whatever numbers they're saying now are likely not even going to be the same numbers they're talking about still in August, September, So who knows what the amount will be, but they'll talk about the amount for months.
They will. And they of course are so bad at negotiating that they don't lead with a really strong demand, right?
Right.
They lead with a really weak ass demand, and then you only get a fraction of that. Folks, they're not gonna cancel student debt. They're gonna send you a coupon for a 15% off at a college, at a community college, a class over there. You know what I mean? You get 15% off. We're going to get a fraction of what they're talking about here. Yeah. A voucher. And it'll be means tested, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about all the different ways they can water the shit down. They should be asking for every single dollar. That's what they should be leading with. But, of course, they're paid to lose. They're paid to be losers. They're paid to not help the working class. Okay. Fucking Chuck. Well, thanks for that insight there.
Biden's done the right thing by continuing the moratorium on student loan payments. His actions have saved millions from financial ruin during the COVID crisis. Okay. But borrowers don't just need their debts paused. They need them erased.
And the Food and Drug Administration's published its plan to prohibit the sale and manufacturing of menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars. Menthol cigarettes are even more addictive and deadly than regular cigarettes. The FDA estimates a ban could save 633,000 lives by 2050, with the benefits felt most in the African-American community, which for years was targeted by Big Tobacco's ad campaigns promoting...
All right, so they're going to get rid of the menthol cigarettes because it's going to save a bunch of lives. But that's not really really our policy. That's not like what we do. Oh, Adam J, welcome in. Sorry, we do have a new chatter. Welcome in. Everyone, be welcoming, please. Everyone, welcome in Adam. They seem all right. And we let down this new chatter here. But of course, the argument is, we're going to save a bunch of lives. First of all, I thought we had freedom in the United States. I can kill myself with menthol cigarettes if I want to, right? Second of all, Let the market figure it out. Third of all, saving lives is not really our policy. Otherwise, we would have tried with COVID in this country, right? I don't know. What's your take on this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I can see insurance companies lobbying to have cigarettes banned.
Why? Because it's just such an awful way to go down and die. It's costly.
It's costly for them. If they end up footing the bill for whatever treatments that you have to get as a consequence of smoking.
Yeah.
Of course, they try their best not to cover you if you're a smoker or charge you out the ass and higher premiums. Or as they say now, nicotine users, because this, despite not being smoking, makes my insurance cost more. Although, I mean, it would. I don't have insurance right now, but still.
Yeah.
That's a fun one.
Yeah. Sucks, right?
I mean, realistically, I don't want the government really to ban anything. I'm kind of libertarian in that regard. But I mean, people should be switching to vaping off of cigarettes. That's all I'll say.
Okay.
I was a pack-a-day smoker for close to a decade, and I switched to Juul like 3 years ago.
Wow.
And my lungs are much happier as a consequence. And, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. That's interesting. All right, let's see what the rest of this clip's got. I think we got about 25 seconds left.
Including menthol brands such as Newport and Kool. A 2018 survey found 85% of black smokers prefer menthol cigarettes. And those are some of the headlines.
Right,
this is Democracy Now. Democracy Now.
The War and Peace Report.
War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
Blamey Badman. All right, that was a pretty good one.
Amy Badman.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That dude Zoot called it in chat. He was mentioning that it's his hot take is that it's specifically targeting black people, and I can see them doing that. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. It's not that hot a take. But yeah, Amy said it at the end.
They're gonna ban them, but that's not gonna stop people from doing it because there's just like little things you can get, right? You can you can get like a little thing and it'll like crack a little menthol guy into your cigarette, right?
That's the crushes, yeah.
Are they gonna
Camel Crush?
Are they gonna ban that too?
I guess they would if they're gonna ban menthol cigarettes.
Are they just gonna ban menthol outright? Like this is weird, right?
I hope not, because I like menthol Juul. I mean, I'd rather have the fruit Juul back, but. Bastards took it away from me.
They took the flavors?
Yeah.
Has this happened previously? Okay, I'm not too close to this. So they banned like flavored ones?
No, it was a couple of years ago, and I don't even think that they were necessarily banned. I think Juul just like did it for PR purposes. They voluntarily self-banned it because they were catching a bunch of flack from high schoolers apparently juuling.
They self-censored
flavors, and that'll stop it. What? No.
So the market's not figuring it out.
It never does.
Never does. Every time. All right. Well, I think we did the clip. I think we did the Democracy Now clip. Good job. Nasai, you did a good job today.
Good job to
you're
you
good
too,
at this.
man.
Oh, thank you. No, I think you're very good at this. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna wrap this up. If you got to the end of this YouTube clip, congrats. Way to go. Hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell, comment below. It helps out. You can join us here on Twitch and hang out with Nasai and other friends. And we could talk about the world and try to react live. That's what we do. Support our Patreon. And that's that. Thank you all for watching. Bye, y'all. Bye. That's that. Bye. All right. Bye. Big thanks to all my patrons, including Nasai. Lake B, Jasmine, Boondocks Dragon, Ira, Vivian, thank you so much. Thanks Kevin, Tony, Bobson, Willie, Jeremy, Mike, Dwight, Tim, Carl, Mike, and Todd Gonzalez. Love you, Todd Gonzalez.